Hi, everybody. It's Rick here with another One Board Family interview. Today we have Carla Kopp of Weird Giraffe Games, who's going to tell us a little bit about a game that she's got on Kickstarter right now. So, hello, Carla.
Hi.
So, you've got your game out on Kickstarter. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so my game is called Stellar Leap. It is a space exploration game for 1 to 4 players that plays in about 40 to 80 minutes, so about an hour. It has worker placement, variable player powers, and kind of a twist on dice rolling. So how it came about is I really wanted to create a game that had player interaction, that had dice, but that you could change the dice. Sometimes I play games and they have dice and I just roll poorly the entire game and then I get sad. So I did not want that to happen in my game, but I do love rolling dice. And the last thing I wanted was to have short and interesting turns. So you want to be able to do your turn and have, your turn matter, but not for it to take forever.
Right. Yeah, I am definitely with you on the dice thing. I specifically cannot play most board game apps because I'm like, I don't trust the dice roller on this thing. I think it's cheating me right now.
Yeah.
So how did you get involved in board games to begin with?
So after I graduated college, I had a lot more free time because, no more school and studying and stuff. But one thing that was hard was actually making friends because, like, in college, everyone you study with is your friend and it's really easy. But then making friends outside of college, it was like, well, what do we do? Like, how do you interact with people? And I found board games and it was like, whoa, like we could play a game and have fun and be with people and it's just fantastic. So that's really where I got started with it. I did have a few friends from college and they were like, hey, let's play Agricola. And I was like, yay, I'm with somebody, like I'm with another person. So yeah, and then I also learned to love Agricola because that's a really great game.
Right. Was that the first game they had you play?
I think so. I remember
That's a pretty heavy game to be starting with. It's not like a Catan or Ticket to Ride. We're going straight to Agricola. Here we go.
Well, that was my friend Sarah's absolute favorite game, and it wasn't that bad as a first game. We did play Settlers of Catan a lot after that. I think that was the first board game I actually purchased was Settlers. So, I mean,
yeah. So you got back into.
I went Gateway eventually.
Yeah, we did the gate. We went through the door later, but first we went through the window.
Yeah.
How did you talked obviously about that's kind of how you started to meet people. So how does it become I really enjoy making or playing these games to I think I want to make these games?
So I was at Dragon Con one year, which is a big nerdy convention and stuff like that. And I had some free time. Usually if you want to go to a convention, that's my cat also. He needs attention all the time.
My dog shows up in all my interviews, so you're fine.
So I was at Dragon Con and I had some spare time and I was looking through the different panels that they had, and one of them was how to design your board game or how to make your board game, something like that. And I was like, I like playing board games, and I had done things with Agricola to make it more user-friendly with 6 players, I think. So I was like, yeah, board games, and I'm here. I'm not doing anything else. So I went to the panel, and during the panel, they were so positive about stuff. They were one line I really remember is that you just need to start with note cards. Don't put in a lot of effort. Just take some note cards, make your cards, and start playtesting. And that seemed really easy. So Dragon Con is about 4 hours away from where I live. So me and my friends that were in the car, we just, on the 4-hour trip back, we designed my first game, Super Hack Override. We didn't design all of it. We just the basis of it in that 4 hours. But yeah, I was we had put in so much work, the 4 hours. I was we have to make this into a real game, right? And so it just went from there.
Awesome. That's awesome. And then, I know from experience, now that I've, gotten into writing board game reviews and things like that, whenever I read someone's review, I'm like, I think I would do this differently, or I think I would have written this sentence instead of that sentence. Have you found like your consumption of board games to be different now that you kind of entered the design and development part?
Yeah, so sometimes when I play a game and it's not like ideal, I'll get excited about playing it again, but with playing it with my twists on it. Like instead of doing it as the rules are written or with all the cards, one thing I commonly do is if there's any take that cards, I take all of them and then I just put them somewhere else, and I see how the game plays without the take that, because I just don't enjoy take that, and usually the games get better. Or like just things to improve like turn length and stuff. Like instead of each of us doing it individually, let's just do it all at once and see how that works out.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. And do you find like the gaming group that you play with, are they usually on board to try out your different rules and your variants?
So sometimes they're like, Carla, let's please play the game as it's meant to be played. But sometimes I can be like, this is how you play the game, guys. And they're fine with that.
Yes, I'm going to teach you a game. Can I look at the rules? No, you cannot.
Yes, so sometimes I do that. They got really kind of offended at Seafall, but yeah. Well, I had things where I was like, we're not enjoying Seafall. Let's play it with these modifications. And they're like, hey, let's just not play it.
No, that sounds awesome. You mentioned your previous game, Super Hack Override, and I was reading a different interview that you've done before, and I noticed that you talked about intentionally making 2 out of the 3 players female, so that the diversity in your games mirrors like the diversity of life. And I personally thought that was pretty awesome. Can you tell us more about like why you did that and kind of why you find that to be important in the games that you design?
So just from like me standpoint, like I love to play games and be able to choose a character that looks like me or that is different than normal. Like being able to choose a woman and to choose the woman character that I like, that makes me like a game so much. Like when there's only, when there's 5 male characters, all white, and then the 1 female, I'm like, I guess I'll be that 1 woman character. But yeah, I expect it's like that for everyone else. And I want everyone else to feel that same like excitement when they see the different characters and they're like, yeah, I'm going to use this card because the person looks like me. Like I get really excited like seeing all the news stories where it's just different people, but they're so excited about seeing themselves in media. Like I remember this like super excited little kid when the news Captain America was brought out, and he was just so excited that somebody like him was a superhero.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So you mentioned kind of your gaming groups. You play with a diverse group of people. I mean, what are your gaming groups look like, and what kind of games are usually hitting the table for you guys?
Well, generally I decide all the games because I have a lot of games, and what I like to play most are new games. Like that's my favorite thing, is just to learn a new game, play it, and see what is unique about the game, or what twists did they add, or just like what is the art. So we really enjoy doing that, or I force them to one of those options. So yeah, like a lot of Kickstarter games because I back a lot of Kickstarter games. Usually games that play in about an hour. Generally we play with like 5 or 6 people, so we get to test out, if the game was actually meant for 5 or 6, and yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, I find myself in that same category of like I love the new game experience, and I've a lot of the people I play with are like, we would like to not spend 30 minutes learning the rules. I'm like, but why not? It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
And then it also makes for a very difficult board game collection in my house where I'm like, I really just want to play a lot of these games one time, but I don't really have a game rental availability. So looks like we're going to be collecting some stuff and making some decisions. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess to kind of wrap us all up, if you could give any advice to any would-be game developers, what advice would you give?
Make one step of progress every day, like regardless of how big that step is. Like just do something every single day to make progress towards your goal. Like some days you're going to do a lot of progress and that'll be great. But you have to keep going, like otherwise you just lose your motivation. Like game design is hard. Like the initial game design, like that first like 10-20% is like so fun and engaging, and you just want to do that all the time, like because eventually you'll get like so many ideas and you're like, I have these 10 new game ideas and I want to prototype each one of them. But you can't make a great game like that. You have to stick to it and play test the same game hundreds of times, iterate, and just keep going with it. So yeah, just stick with that 1 or 2 games and make it like as good as you can.
Awesome. Yeah, I like that advice. It's very helpful. And it makes me, like, as you were talking, I wanted to go like work on a game right now, but then I realized I'm doing an interview. I need to sit here and finish. Well, thank you so much for joining us and talking to us about your game. If people want to check out your Kickstarter, how much time do they have left?
They have until October 19th, which is about 18 days from now. So, okay. Yeah.
Stellar Jump, correct? Is the name of your game?
Oh, what? You cut out. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's right. I was like, Stellar Jump is the name of your game?
Oh, Stellar Leap. Yeah, Stellar Leap. Stellar Leap. And it is at stellar-leap.com. Yeah, so go check it out. See if it's something you'd like. It has space exploration, so.
Yes, always want to be an astronaut. Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing your successful game, and maybe we can talk to you again once the game is out there.
That'd be awesome. Thank you for having me. It was great talking.
Thanks.